Hello, hello. Now hold off and see if everybody gets in here. There we go. All right, so if you guys are jumping in, just click accept on the restream. That way they can make sure and I can see who is asking questions. All right, perfect. Hello, hello. Because I can see the messages, I just cannot see who they're from. So if you want me to respond with your name, do that. I'm just going to make sure a few more things here. All right. So I will restream this later for everyone to see again. If you missed it, this is also being recorded. It'll go over into the Blend Your Spirit on craftbykittilyn.com into the private classroom. So I just wanted to do the first one. That way other people can. Oh, you're on YouTube? Okay. Yeah, it'll go on YouTube and it'll go on Blend Your Spirit and Craft by Kitty Lynn. So it should show up in a couple of places. I don't think I have too many others going right now. Let's see. Yeah. So it looks like we're a couple different places, but we are all good. So we will go ahead and get started. Reconnect there. I'm going to reconnect to you. All right. So we have some peoples. So say hello if you're in here and you are. All right. So hey, Kathy. Got Julie. I am looking for Tanya, maybe. Anybody else that I may have lost in the transition over there? Let's see. I'm going to tell everybody and then I'll get started. So I'm so sorry for the delay on it. It's crazy madness. All right. So, hey, Donna. All right. So it's live in there. So we should be good to go. You're on Facebook now? Okay. Perfect. Perfect. All right. I just want to make sure everybody that can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record this. This will go if you're in the paid classes, which a lot of you guys are. This is the mentorship that's bleeding. It's the Blend Your Spirit that is the ancient civilizations kind of blending in with the mentorship. Jen is there somewhere. Okay, I just wanted to make sure everybody was able to get in. It should be easier this way. So this is going to be, this month is about protection, okay? And there's going to be, at the end of today, if you're in the class, you will be able to get in by your password that you make on craftbykittilyn.com, and you'll be able to go in and look at some documents, look at this replay, different things like that that I'll load in there. It was important for me to make this available, and I don't have another platform that's working the way that I want it to work like the website does, because then you can just click on the month, go in, and you can get all that information, watch videos, whatever you want to do. So today, I wanted to start this month and talk about protection because that is hands down one of the top questions that I get regarding protection, and it could be spiritual protection. It could be energetic protection. It's not the physical protection typically, right? It's not the I'm going to be harmed or I'm worried I'm going to be hurt in my house. It's always more of the spiritual aspects. And so for me, and again, every practitioner is going to be different that teaches you things, right? I focus on healing aspects and raising vibration aspects and things of that nature. And so for me, when you can identify what makes you feel safe and what you do that makes you feel safe and know that you're safe, that's the direction that you need to go. So for me, shadow work, of course, is part of feeling protected energetically. And the reason why I say that is if you have shadow work to do and you're uncomfortable or you're not confident in your abilities to tell someone to go F off and leave you alone, don't cross my boundary, then you're more likely going to be able to be drugged into chaos and the madness that people can consume of one, narcissistic tendencies. Your trauma is going to control your life forever, right? Because your trauma that you have comes out in different ways. You are going to not feel energetically protected ever. So anything that you do, if you're a spiritual person, a witch, pagan, even Christians, let's just be real, no matter what you are, you're going into a spiritual situation. For you to feel confident and to feel safe and protected, you need to know what makes you feel not, right? And so that is an important component that a lot of people don't teach about when you're talking about feeling protected, when you're talking about protection. Do you know what makes you feel not safe? Okay, think about that for a minute. What makes you feel not safe? Okay, what makes you feel not safe? My intuition tells me my spidey senses kick in when, okay, when does that happen? Those are the things that you need to know. What makes you feel not safe? So I wanted to go over a couple of things, and of course we're going to go through crystals and things like that, but I found this while reading and I wanted to go over it with you guys because it's really good. Okay, so something that we all struggle with. So I always tell you guys it's balance, right? It's all balance. People are like, I am a dark worker. I only work in the dark. I am a light worker. Everything's happy all the time. Not possible, right? Not possible. Life is not ever all light. It is not ever all dark. Okay. The weather is not ever all light and not ever all dark. Okay. The sun comes up, the sun goes down, the moon however it does, right? It's not ever the same. Okay. You are allowed to grieve and then snap back slowly but surely. You can be happy in the same moment that you're grieving. Okay. It's hard, right? But you have to have some understanding of the emotions that you're going through. You can always have the balance, right? You can always have the light with the dark. Okay, you can't always have tons and tons and tons and tons of light, and you'll never, it's called toxic positivity, and that's what I wanted to talk about because there is toxicity within family structures, family units, friendships, all of the above. And we've all experienced them. We've all been part of the toxicity, right? Because if you're not part of the healing, you're part of the problem. Okay. And that's the truth. That's the truth. So if you've ever been around someone that says good vibes only, I don't ever listen to anything negative, la, 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 right? Only light and love here. Okay, I'm a light and love person, but you don't want to piss me off. I assure you it is not pretty. Okay. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden then I'm a dark person or a dark energy or a light energy. It means I'm balanced, right? We're human. This is what happens. So I want to talk to you about good vibes only is a huge misconception that's going on right now in the spiritual community. Okay. Spiritual world, witchcraft, pagan, Christianity, Buddhism, every single religious practice that you know of, right? It's a lot of good vibes only. Good vibes only. Good vibes only. And if dark comes, it's the bad guy that did it. He's the one that started it, right? It couldn't be potentially that it's balance. Okay. And so sadly, it's important to talk about this kind of behavior when we're talking about protection, because when we refuse to acknowledge that people are indeed human and have sad days, right? Depressive episodes, crazy relationships, it can easily turn into a toxic situation. People, especially people who claim to be witches and spiritual people nowadays, need the freedom to grow and experience the full range of human emotions. And sometimes those things are painful. Even the things that bring us emotional and physical pain, right, can be seen as light and dark. Not all positive, right? Understanding that we each have a negative trait and past behaviors that were formed during times of stress. And though they protected us when they were needed, they may no longer be healthy to hold on to. To integrate the shadow of our past, it's important to bring them into the light and look at them for what they are. Only then can we incorporate new positive behaviors that will help benefit us rather than harm us. This includes protecting you. Okay, this includes protecting you energetically. There's a lot of talk on, if I go to a graveyard, how do I protect myself? But for God's sake, there's not that much talk about if I'm in a friendship, if I'm in a relationship, if I'm in a toxic family, how do I protect myself? How do I do this? Okay, that's what we're going to talk about. Only then you can incorporate new positive behaviors that will benefit you rather than harm you or put you in harm's way or give you connections that you no longer need. Hey guys, if I can respond to you guys, but I cannot see who it is unless you click on Restream for it to allow to say your name. So if you have a question and you want me to respond by name, or you want me to know who you are, just say your name and the question. So the first step in integrating these behaviors is to understand why we have them and what those behaviors protected us from. Okay, so if you are struggling with energetic protection, this can come in many ways. Okay, working in the spiritual world, we talk about cemeteries, we talk about this, we talk about that. How do we do this? How do we do that? You start internal with yourself personally. Okay, you can go into a graveyard, you can go into a haunted house, you can go into a sacrificial site that feels disgusting, and you can still feel protected if you do your inner work. Okay, does this make sense to you guys? You can go to a family event, and it can be a very difficult family event, but you can still make it through by being protected energetically. So toxic positivity, if you're grown up or grown-ups were overly critical, whether it was your grades, looks, taste in clothing, friendships, you may have developed avoidant patterns revolving around making decisions because someone in authority taught you that your choices weren't good enough. Do you guys have people in your family or around you that made you feel like your choices weren't good enough? And sometimes we're the toxic people telling people that. That's where we have to look internal and to grow. If your grown-up choices you made feel helpless or hopeless, you might have overindulged in food, drink, drugs, escapist type behaviors. Okay? When you realize your energy is a gift and you protect it, it changes you. It changes you. If your grown-ups had to be the most important person in the room, you might be very weary of authority figures. You may not like authority figures. If your grown-ups made sure you felt as though it wasn't safe to disagree with them, you may have a severe reaction to perceived criticism or confrontation. If your grown-ups repeatedly abused your trust, you might trust too quickly or not at all, right? There's not an in-between. If your grown-ups belittled your feelings or thoughts, made fun of you, you will have a very difficult time talking about emotions and feelings. The next step for you is to forgive yourself. It is not your fault that your parents acted this way, your family, your teachers, your siblings, your friends. This is not your fault, right? Everybody is reacting from their own trauma. It is not your fault that you did not feel safe and you did not feel protected. The next step is forgiving yourself. It's not your fault that your parents or the people around you acted this way. This is theirs. Be gentle on yourself. You are not perfect, but you have to remember that means neither is anyone else. It's real easy to judge people on the things that they've done when you can pretend like you're perfect. Okay, but you're not. And neither are the people around you, neither are the people that have hurt you. They all have their own shit and they're living their life based upon what they've healed and how they've moved through their shit. Okay? If you find yourself diminishing all that you've accomplished today because you couldn't do it all, remember you have tomorrow. And I'll get to the point of this here in a minute. If you find yourself beating yourself down for not being able to save everyone, remember that that is a huge task and you're just one person. If you find yourself upset that you don't have all the answers, remember perfection is unattainable and you're doing what you can. If you find yourself hesitating to set healthy boundaries with yourself or someone else, remember you're worth taking care of. You're enough. Okay? And the reason why I'm touching on these subjects before we dive deeper into protection is because you have to start understanding what makes you feel protected and what makes you feel uncomfortable, uneasy. Your subconscious kicks in, your intuition kicks in and tells you this is not okay, this isn't right, but I'm going to still do it because it's what I feel is right. There's a difference there, okay? Your energy is to be protected, and that means starting to identify places in your life that have made you feel less than safe, okay? Do you guys have situations like that? Hello? Do you have situations to where you feel unsafe, and so sometimes you can act out and have a trauma response when you get pushed into a corner, when someone criticizes you, when something negative happens? We typically will respond out of what we know, right? And that's all we can do. That's all we can do. And it's a beautiful thing once you start identifying what makes you feel safe, what makes you feel protected, what people around you make you feel protected. Okay, this is what we're talking about today, is protecting your energy. Okay? You have to start understanding and looking into the past to find out what you need to feel protected spiritually and emotionally. So there's lots of different things that can give you protection, okay? And so I just wanted to go into some of the shadow work because you guys know me in shadow work. It is something that's paramount. And once you start doing it, it's like opening a can of worms. And you're like, no, I'm good. I don't ever want to talk about it. I don't ever want to talk about it. I'm good. I don't want to talk about it. And then it constantly recurs in your life, right? I say trauma responses. When you have a trauma response and you get a trigger and you trip out and your head spins in circles and, snake flies out of your mouth, this is a classroom. This is an open invitation into a classroom where you are the subject and you get to go in and figure out what's going on. Why are you feeling this way? Now you can learn it now in that classroom, or you can shut the door and go ahead and move on. But don't worry, it'll show itself again. Okay? So when you're talking about protection, you want to recognize different things that make you feel not protected, right? Things that make you feel uncomfortable, things that you want to protect yourself from. You go into a family gathering and your blood pressure spikes. This is a real thing. Does anybody's blood pressure spike when you go into a family gathering? Hell yeah, mine does. Not as much anymore, but like you don't know what people are thinking. You don't know what's going to happen. Like you just don't know. This is uncomfortable. I also get that when I go into big groups of people, right? Big groups of people make me feel not as protected. But if I go into it grounded and kind of bubbled up, and we'll talk about, it definitely helps, right? Going into big groups, going and talking with someone that you really don't want to talk to, having hard conversations at work, having hard conversations with friends, with husbands, with wives, with relationships, partners, kids, right? Because we are all put into this situation of life and we have all of this trauma, we have all of this life behind us, and we are trained from every person that is around us that if we respond a certain way, we may not receive love, we may not receive what we need. So then we turn around and we try and subconsciously be a person that we know that they're going to respond to you. And then you turn around and get mad at yourself because you've done it, okay? It's interesting when you start watching it in yourself and other people. So protection is this energetically. You know that there is something coming up, right? It's going to be a difficult situation. What are some things that you guys think you can do to protect yourself when going into a family gathering that you know is going to be difficult? Is there anything you guys know of that you could do? I do a couple of different things in general, going into work, going into hard gatherings, going into difficult situations and conversations, traveling. There's a lot of things that I do, but the whole bubble up is a very real thing for me. Okay. When you're going to have a hard situation and you're going into unknown territory, you want to feel protected and grounded. And so, one of the ways I like to do grounding or bubbling up for protection energetically is I will stand there, I will sit there, and I will hold a crystal, whichever one you want to do. I like to use pyrite. If I want to have more of a gentle spirit while I'm doing it, I might use lepidolite, or I might use rose quartz, something of that nature. And I will bubble up. I will hold it, and I will envision a light coming from my heart center. And I'll envision it getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until it engulfs my body. And then I seal it. Okay, then I seal it. Mentally seal it. I don't take out like some, patching and glue. Mentally. Boop. Okay, it's the same bubble I do when I get in an uncomfortable situation and I bubble up and then I disappear. I'm there, but people know like I'm checked out. It's this bubble. Boop. Okay, it helps you be more guarded. It helps you be energetically guarded. It can help you see things a little bit more from a distance and through different eyes than the emotional reaction that you typically do. And you can not go, and that is very true. But there are some situations for me that I feel like the reason why I feel the way I do is of my own fault. It's of our own fault. And so for me, like I may think this person in my family doesn't like me because they didn't react to me in a way that I would react to someone else. And so I may think that there's a problem there, and there may not be a problem there at all. Okay, does that make sense? So sometimes you go into situations knowing it has nothing to do with you. Sometimes you go into situations thinking initially that everybody doesn't like you or there's definitely an issue with you. And it's actually you just feel different because, well, you've grown and you're kind of separated and you've grown up and done a different thing than the rest of the family. There could be so many different reasons. And if you really don't want to go, don't go. That is 100%. There's a lot of times I don't go. But grounding, bubbling up, right? You can even go, right? Imagine that light going out, 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 out. You can do a bubble. You could do it right outside your auric field. You can do a lot of things. You can use your selenite, right? I do this. You guys will see me live do this a lot. This cleanses the field. This brings me into now. All right, clean all that gross shit. You can use anointing oil because you're going into it knowing that this smell, right here, what I know, where I go, what I do, you're going in prepared. That means you're more in the moment. You're expecting to be protected, right? And you thank the universe for protecting you. Thank God, universe, source, whoever, right? Whoever you want. You do you. But some of the top things that I do will be the bubble up, is the selenite, right? Selenite, and it will be anointing oil. Benefits of these things are they the magical tools? No, you are. You are the one that is in control of your own energy. These are beautiful post-it notes to remind you of what you need to do. Now, if you're talking about protection anywhere in general, including going to paranormal investigations, things of that nature, you want to use, if you want to use crystals, you can use selenite, you can use obsidian, you can use hematite, you can use tiger's eye, you can use smoky quartz, right? Big smoky quartz right here. Smoky quartz, when you don't feel protected or you feel overwhelmed, is a great stone for transmutation. Okay, when you're sad and you need to feel like a badass, transmute the energy. Don't just throw it away. Transmute the energy into something else. And that can be done by getting grounded and understanding how powerful that energy is. Smoky quartz, pyrite is another one. Pyrite, great for energy. So citrine is another one that I love for that. The reason is, okay, you will have different practitioners tell you different things, as I always say, but when your energy is a high vibration, your molecular level, right, your cells, your cellular structure, everything is vibrating really, really fast, really, really close together, okay, really close together. You have this bubble around you, you have all these great energies, your vibration is high. It's harder for, what do I want to call them? It's harder for arrows to penetrate a very, very tight armor, okay? A very tight armor. If you want your armor to be tight, you need to work on raising your vibration. Raising your vibration is you find small things to be happy about every day. You do something good for the world and for yourself. You do I am mantras. I am beautiful. I am worthy. I am going to have a good day. I am a great person. I am going to get unexpected blessings. I am. Okay? Know that you're worth it. If you do not feel like you are worth the life that you want, this leaves giant holes in your bubble, like Swiss cheese, right? Everybody laughs. I always say, you can either have a very, very high vibration, you can have this tight armor, okay? Arrows, it's very hard for arrows to penetrate. But the moment you start doubting, you start getting depressed, you start being sad, you start thinking about what ifs, and you slowly start sinking and getting more scared and more scared. Forget it, I'm just not going to get out of bed. Then you have this bubble that's basically made out of Swiss cheese. Can arrows get through that? Pretty much, right? Pretty much, right? So there's the difference, right? Protection is knowing what you need to feel protected. If you do not know yourself, you're not going to know what things are going to make you feel protected. I don't care what crystal you grab or what mantra that you do. If you do not know and are able to identify things that make you feel unsafe, things that make you feel uneasy, there's no way that you're going to be able to grab a crystal and all of a sudden feel completely protected. Do they help? Yes, 1000%, right? But it's not going to do all of the work for you. You can't say, well, you know, I really feel like I'm a piece of crap and I don't deserve anything, but I am going to carry this pyrite, and the pyrite is going to bring in all the goodness. Okay? Protection, manifesting, and shadow work and the sex magic classes, for me, it's all in the same. It's so interconnected with everything, because raising your vibration and keeping your bubble solid and your armor more solid is going to make it to where that negative energy people shoot at you will be more likely to bounce right off and go right back at them. And isn't that in the end what you really want, right? When someone's coming at you with negative energy, wouldn't it be great if when they threw it at you, it just bounced right back off like a boomerang and went right back to them? And I will tell you that when you start growing and understanding and protecting your energy, that you are going to, one, lose people around you, right? Because they're not on the same vibration level as you. And it's going to make you feel terrible. You're going to start having boundaries again. It's going to make you feel terrible, like you're a bad person and all these things. But when you start standing your ground from a calm place and a very respectable place, it is going to bounce back to those people, right? Because they're going to figure out they can't exactly do what they've been doing with you or to you. They're going to have to go find someone else, because it's going to be thrown right back on them. So you're not going to give them what they need. And so it does hit them back. If you are needing protection or you're wanting someone else to feel protected and they're going on a trip, they're going into paranormal, they're going into a home that has suspicious energy, You can grab those crystals and you can put them in your pocket, and you can even do like lepidolite is a great calming and self-love stone. I have a piece right here. I have this piece here. This is the raw lepidolite. Okay, this raw lepidolite, I was going to say lepidolite has a calming energy. Okay, lepidolite's mind similar to lithium, right? So it has a calming, like stop, losing your mind, calm down energy. So when you're full of self-love, true self-love, not so great, egotistical, but self-love and loving your energy and knowing that you're worth it, you're going to start practicing more self-love. Okay, so rose quartz, lepidolite, all these things that focus on self-love are going to be great tools to help you bubble up. Okay, now if you typically stay pretty high energy and high vibration, which I like to think that I do, but I still have those days, right? I still have those days I want to climb under the covers and disappear from the world. It's normal, right? This is a normal thing people feel. And so if you have those days, you want to, one, try and recognize why, because something has made you feel not protected. It's all about protection or being seen or validated. Something's made you feel that way. Now, in the spiritual aspect, say you're doing a meditation and your anxiety comes at you. You need to understand where that comes from and why you're feeling the way that you're feeling. That way you can assure yourself, right, and be more protected next time. Is there something that happened? It's all about identifying what has happened to make you feel a certain way. Without knowing, you don't know. You just don't know. So when we're talking about going into, say, paranormal, I'm not an expert in paranormal by any means. Several of you guys are very, very involved in it. For me, it is the same thing. On when your vibration is high, you're going to be less likely to have attachments come for you or come and attach to you. You're going to be less likely to have heavy energy come to you and mess with you. You're going to be less likely to be, if you believe in curses and hexes and all those things, you're going to be less likely to be affected by that. By anybody who claims they're messing in your energy, you're going to look at them and be like, it's fine. Okay? Because you will understand how powerful you are, and you will learn to keep your bubble and your armor very, very close knit. So if you're going into a cemetery, if you have haunted dolls, if you have a haunted home, if you just want to start experimenting with paranormal, highly recommend, one, that you reach out to someone who knows more than I do on paranormal. It's not an area I play a lot in. Rebel is in here. She does really great. There's a lot of other people you can reach out to. But for me, to keep in my paranormal pocket, I would have black tourmaline, I would have kyanite, I would have selenite, and I would have tiger's eye. Okay, these are all protection stones. Selenite is a great clearing stone. I would have shungite, if I could, to help with any environmental electricity, environmental things that would be out there, because it will help absorb some of that. I would also have black salt. I would have Palo Santo, and I do use sage on occasion, but I love to use rosemary. Okay, rosemary is a great protective herb that you can use. Palo Santo is really great to use. You can definitely have sage if you're using it sparingly and respectful of it. But there is blue sage. That's what I typically use. Now, keep in mind, sometimes if you're in a home or if you're in an area that is paranormal and you use certain herbs, you can irritate the spirits or the energy. Okay, that is just a given. Going into it, you need to understand those things and you need to know those things. The more you know, the more protected you're going to be. You need to also go into paranormal field with people that you trust, that are going to have your best interest at heart, okay, when it comes to protection in the paranormal field. You can't have black salt. You can have regular salt. What else? Let's see. You can use cinnamon, you can use clove, mullein. However, mullein can irritate a lot of energies. So you want to make sure on what you're looking for and what you're working with there. If you're working in your home and you're wanting to do a clearing of your home, I would do a clearing of myself, sage, rosemary, palo santo. I use a hag torch a lot of times. This is called a hag torch right here. And this is basically a stalk of mullein, and it is dipped in beeswax. You light it, and it burns, right? It burns. Now you do have to be careful. Wax goes everywhere and all that, but I do use this to clear. You can use all those things for protection. And this is just basic protection. You can make your own anointing oil for protection, and you can put in cinnamon, you can put in sage, and you can put in other herbs that are going to protect, as well as infuse it with different crystals like obsidian, black tourmaline, or shungite. You can definitely do that. There's so many different things that you can do, right? But when it's all said and done, if you're not working on your insides, it's not going to matter what you do on the outside. Does that make sense to you guys? I don't want you guys to get in a situation to where you're thinking that you constantly are living underneath these covers, right? And you're not in a good place. And then you want to know, what can you do to be protected? You have to go inside, right? You have to go inside. Because to be protected energetically, you have to know you. And so many times us as adults do not know ourselves. Therefore, how in the hell are we going to know what's going to keep us protected, or even know what you need to keep you protected when it comes to energetically? Sound, and I'm going to go through sound. Sound is another great grounding tool, another great healing and protection tool as well. It clears out. If you have, you can have, what do I have? I have chimes. So you can have chimes. Let me get my chime. So I have a chime, right? You can do a chime. You can use this for clearing out rooms. You can use a bell. You can use your singing bowl. You can use your rattle. I have a rattle. Where are you? I have a couple rattles, right? I have rattle. Being able to clear energy is part of being protected. Okay, I have this one, my little turtle shell. I also have this one. Okay. When you're playing in your energy, you can feel, right? You can feel it. Oh gosh, yeah, I love those chimes. You can get them in the 4 elements. They're my favorite ones. So, knowing how to clear your energy is another way to protect. So if you're in a situation and you're at a family event, you're at an event and you're like, absolutely, everybody's in my energy. I need them out of my energy. How do I get them out of my energy? Right? You get it away, right? You can use selenite. You can use those things. Another great divination tool, if you do divination, which basically is allowing the universe to speak to you through tools. Okay, that's what divination is. So you could use a pendulum. You can use a pendulum. You can ask the pendulum, have I cleared this? Yes, no. Yes, no. Is there energy in this corner of the home? Yes or no. A pendulum is a great energetic reader. That's what it does. It reads energy. So even if energy in the house can't say, I'm here to get you, or you don't know why the energy is weird, you can use a pendulum, you can use tools, you can use rattles, you can use bells to clear out and move energy. Okay. Stagnant energy is not always great energy. It's just stagnant. It's just there. So for you to be able to move energy is going to be part of protection. So that's why I include all of it all together. Okay. Protection, black salt. Do you guys know how to make black salt? I'm going to tell you the way that I make it, because I sell it, but you can make it as well. So one of the things that I use for black salt is this. one, you get ashes. Ashes. Now, you don't want to use ashes from something, say, like you burn bay leaves, and you're going to burn everything you're wanting to get rid of, right? You want to get rid of those ashes. You don't want to keep those, right? You're trying to get rid of it. It defeats the purpose. But if you have, say, a bonfire, and it was a great experience, if you have a fireplace and you burn fires, use those ashes that come from a positive type situation. You mix salt with those ashes, and you can use the black lava salt as well for coloring, but a lot of times the black coloring and black salt comes from charcoal. And so you can get charcoal and you can smash it up. Mine is typically gray because I don't put that much coloring in it. So you can do the black salt, black lava salt. You can use white salt. You can add ashes. If you want to add additional things to it for your black salt, you can add essential oils. You can use herbs like rosemary as well. But some of the most important parts of black salt is ashes if you're making it at home. Okay. And you can use this outside to pour around your home. It's ashes and salt. You can put it inside your house. You can put it on your hands before you're doing Reiki, before you're doing workings or protection. You can put a little jar of it infused, in your car, anywhere. It is salt. You can use charcoal, ash, and you can use the lava salt if you want, or lava rock, anything that's going to help with the coloring of it. And you can use rosemary. You can use any herbs that you want if you have a protection anointing oil that you like. That is black salt. Now, there's all different kinds of variances of it, but when you go to your fireplace or to your fire pit and get ash, you mix things with it. And while you're mixing, you're going to say, you have the ash, I'm pouring white salt in, right? This is for protection. I am protected. The universe protects me. My energy is protected, right? Intention, intention, intention. You can use this in cord cutting ceremonies. You can use it, you can put some around your bathtub if you're taking a magical bath or an intention bath. You can put it on the sides of candles. You can use it to create a money bowl, a grid, all these different things. It is ash, ash, ash. Okay? So if you burn incense all the time, save that ash and use it to create your own. You can buy it from anybody, but you can truly create and put your own energy into it as well. And if you guys want to have more classes on creating things, I absolutely love to do those, so I will do that if you want. Do you guys have any questions? I wanted to just touch base on the protection aspect of it, especially for the first class, because so many times people will tell you, let's talk protection. Okay, you need this crystal, and you need this, and you need this, and you're protected. No, the crystals amplify and work with your energy. Okay, it works with your energy. They are beautiful post-it notes to keep you on track and remind you and enhance what you're already doing. And if you don't like yourself or you're in a really bad place, I would advise you not to go put yourself in a situation that is going to make you feel less than protected, right? And if you do have to, and it's one of those things that you have to, because sometimes we have those, then bubble up, right? White light. I call on my guides, my ancestors, my spirit team, God, universe, protect me. Today I am protected. God, universe, spirit team, all of my spirit family, today I am protected. I call on my guides, my spirit team, universe, I am protected, right? And envision this ball. You have the universe, God, spirit, source. You have your ancestors on the other side. You have angels. You have spirits on the other side. They're just chilling. I mean, they're probably living their life and doing all their stuff, but all you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask. So, right now, bubble right here. I call on my spirit guides, my spirit team, my ancestors, and source to protect me today. A little bit bigger. I call on my spirit team, my guides, source, anybody that is for me on the other side. I am protected today. Bigger and bigger. You don't have to sit here and do this with your hands. You could do it on your way to work. See how it changes your life. Wake up in the morning, and when you're going to work, envision, bebop down the road singing your song, and then stop a few minutes and talk with the universe about how you need protection today. I'm going to work. It's going to be a hard day. Today, I am protected. I call on my spirit guides, source, spirit team, protection, 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 right? It will change your life. You don't have to always be the one working to protect yourself and everybody, right? There are spirits and energies and people and friends that you can ask. So I hope that this helps you and reminds you who you are and reminds you where you can start working with protection. Another thing I want to mention real quick on protection is doing cord cuttings. Okay, we talked a little bit about cord cuttings on the full moon. Cord cuttings are a necessary just part of life, if you ask me. If you find yourself in a situation to where energetically you're disconnected with someone or something and it's making you uncomfortable, you know you don't want to be involved in it, but you are. Cut cords. Cut cords can be as simple as you doing a visualization of standing in front of a person, a situation, an energy, and you see them in front of you and you visualize you Edward Scissorhanding it, right, to get rid of it. Cutting the cords. Can they reattach? Sure. Some people have tentacles, right? And they're like, they just come at you, right? But you can detach, right? You can. You don't have to stay attached. You stay attached because you choose to be attached. You choose to be attached because it's too painful to be not. It's too painful to be without them, or it's too scary to step outside the box and do something by yourself. Okay? Cut cords. Cut cords with the energies that no longer are vibrating at the same vibration as you. I need to find a video and post and blend your spirit for you guys. There is this video, and I believe it's of a monk, and he has a tuning fork, and it's of a certain, vibration. And he does all other vibrations over here. But once he vibrates with this one vibrates as well. They're the same vibration. It's no different with friends and with people that you do not need to be around, right? You have this vibration here, and it's vibrating, and it's a lovely sound, and it's great, right? It's good. It's good sound. I like it. And all these others, nope, can't talk to you, doesn't work, right? This one's vibrating, this one doesn't work. You hold up the same vibration, and it vibrates. It connects. It's one. People are no different. Quit trying to connect things that aren't on your vibrational level, that don't want anything to do with you, or you don't really need anything to do with them. Stop doing that, because you're not going to vibrate the same. You're going to get out of that. You're going to have some Swiss cheese protection bubble because you feel defeated. Oops, I did it again. Oops, I did it again. Right? You did it again. You did it again. You like to visualize a sword and chop like a ninja? Yeah, absolutely. And like I tell everybody, I have a sword selenite sword under my bed. When I lay down at night, I picture that thing just cutting away any cords from the day. Any cords from the day. Just release it. Okay, if it is not really doing anything for your highest good, it is not worth having around. And if you don't know what your highest good is, it is because we need to go internal and see what the hell's going on. What is going on? Because you may not know your higher self, but you know when you're on the path that the universe keeps throwing things at you and you see synchronicities, that's how you know. Okay, sometimes we're not connected to our highest self. It feels like we're so far away from it. But when you see crows, when you see 444, when you see 1111, when you see other people, random things pop up in your life when you never even expected it, this is how you know you're on the right path. This is how you know you're on the right path. This is the universe speaking to you. So if you feel like you need protection, if you feel like you need crystals, we can talk, right? Black hematite, black tourmaline, hematite, tiger's eye, selenite, tektite. There's a lot of different energy crystals that can help you with that. Herbs, rosemary, mullein, sage, mugwort. These can help you. These can help you. They help you. They don't do it for you. Take an active role in protecting your energy, right? Take an active role. There is a song that I love, and I posted it within the group. It's that Lucky Me song. I don't chase, I attract. The universe has my back. She says in there that vampires can't suck her dry because she's so alive. Because she's so alive. Be the person, try to be the person that has so much energy and your bubble is so strong with vibration that they just walk away. That they just walk away. They don't even want to try and penetrate that armor. They don't want to. It's too much work. Too much work. And let them keep walking. Let them keep walking. Okay? So speaking of the universe, talking right after meditation, found black pepper right outside your door. Interesting. Yeah, I was literally just going to say I always add black pepper to my salt too. I forgot to add that. You need a selenite one. I do have some. They're not as big as this one, but I do have several. I think they're 10 to 12 inches. I'm going to go live here in just a little bit. So if you need something, let me know because I'm packing and stuff like that. But I hope that this helped you guys. Mentorship will be a lot of this, a lot of talking, a lot of recipes. It'll be just a blend of stuff. Blend your spirit, right? We're a blend of things. If there's something you're wanting to know about protection wise this month, shoot me a message and I will try and get something to do. If you want an anointing oil, let me know. If you're not in the paid classes and you still have a question, let me know. I'll post it within the group. But if you have something that you want me to teach on or you want me to dig a little further on, please let me know. I'd be happy to bring that about. So anyway, I hope that this helps you guys. I will have Rebel on at some point for some paranormal talk as well. And we will kind of go from there. Next week, next Sunday at 1 will be the next class. It again will be on protection. We're probably going to be making an herbal blend for protection. And we're going to talk about some mantras for protection, some sigils for protection. So we will walk through sigils again. We're not going to talk through charging sigils again, but we'll do that on a different class. But we will talk about sigils, probably be making an herbal blend for protection that you can use for tea or you can use for incense. So if you do want to join, shoot me a message. Otherwise, everyone else that is in there, it will probably be on Zoom or on this in a protected area for you. You have access on craftbykittilyn.com to the private classes as well, which includes mentorship, and it does include Finding Divinity as well. And so Finding Divinity this week, next week, I'll be in New Orleans, but I'm going to try to have some things up for you on it. I'll probably have to do a duplicate class because we're going to talk about, well, I'm not going to say it on here what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about 12 different ways people climb a mountain. I'll say it that way. But if you guys have questions or want to join, shoot me a message. If you want to sponsor someone, shoot me a message as well. I would love to participate with that. So I hope this helped you guys. If you guys need anything, please let me know, and I will be on a little later. Yeah, Jen, no worries. No worries. Hope you guys have a great day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.